and I ain't had no energy.
Good morning, St. Louis. Hit at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. So yeah, I know what time it is. It's time for the St. Louis Hustle Podcast with yours truly, CORTEZ Hustle, my girl, Michelle. Hey, and we're talking about super freaks. Yes, super freak. No, not that kind of freak.
Right.
Super control freak this morning. So yeah, we're going to give you 7 signs that you just might be a control freak. So do me a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it this morning.
Growing up in St. Louis has never been easy, and most say if you want to succeed here, that you must leave and put down roots somewhere else because of the strong crabs in a barrel mentality here.
I don't know if I'm just an optimistic person, but to see people like Chuck Berry and Nelly make it in the music industry, or the Roberts brothers and Dave Stewart in business, or William Lacey Clay Jr. in politics, can we blame the city, or is it that people just aren't hungry enough?
We're talking to all of the movers and shakers in this town, from entertainers to politicians, social activists and organizers, and of course, entrepreneurs.
Is there a curse on this city that holds people back? Is there an unseen hand that decides who makes it and who doesn't? You're about to find out.
Welcome to St. Louis Hustle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, CORTEZ Hustle. That's my girl, Michelle A. And we are coming to you live and direct from the Black Biz Success Mastermind studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are all about bringing economic empowerment to the Black community. And one of the ways that you do that is through entrepreneurship. And we want to help Black businesses grow and thrive, not only with our support, but also help them market their businesses better, help them network with better entrepreneurs better, help them with tools, resources that they need to grow their business. So if you want to start a business, if you're already in business, trying to grow a business, or you just want to network and support Black businesses, then text the keyword mastermind to 314-866-4053. Again, text the keyword mastermind to 314-866-4053, and we'll get you that special invitation. But today we're talking all about 7 signs that you just might be a control freak. But before we get into that, Chalet, how's your weekend?
Boom. Woo! Let me tell you. I had a great weekend, wonder-filled, as you might say.
Mm-hmm.
We're still ramping up for our big event next month, Humor to Healing. And I just love, right, how I have these experiences with people. And I don't think it's by accident. I think God allows me to have these experiences, not just because he loves me, but because he loves y'all. So he makes sure that y'all cross paths with me and we have a little shit to think. And then the magic happens. I was out minding my own business, enjoying some old school hip hop. It was midweek, I guess. And, I was talking about the event. You know me, I'm always be running my mouth. So I'm talking about the event. And the place I was at, this guy, I had his attention. And because that's what I do. So I had his attention. So I'm telling him about the event. And we took a hard left because I said, yeah, there's going to be people on the panel. We've all endured trials and hardships. And I said, I told I said, I've done this or I've been through this. I told about another person, alcoholism, molestation, atheism, whatever. He goes, wow, I think I'd like to come to that. I said, okay, that's cool. Support. He was like, no, I was molested when I was 8 years old. Oh, my. Mm-hmm. And he said he was molested by an adult woman and he never told anybody. And when he got to be an adult, he said he shared it with his father and I think one of his male relatives, and they made fun of him and said, oh, they tried first. They thought it was, oh, dog, you got your son at 8, dog. You real, you out there. He was like, I was 8.
Right.
That wasn't, I was 8 and she was an adult. That wasn't cool. Oh man, you tripping. And he was just like, in my heart of hearts, he said, I let it go. He said, but in my heart of hearts, I know I'm not tripping. She shouldn't have did that. That was wrong. Mm-hmm. Man, broke my heart. He was like, I don't know why I'm telling you all about business in this atmosphere. I don't even know. I ain't even told my girl this. man, I said, well, listen, we're going to have some counseling services on hand. Shout out to our sponsor, Open Arms Counseling. Shout out to y'all. But I said, we're going to have counseling services on hand. I said, come be a part. I said, people are going to be sharing stories and you might be able to get a hold of a resource that can help you. I said, tell them about Open Arms, etc., and that they're a great counseling service. So, I got that commitment. I'm going to be knocking at his door again. But I got that commitment for him to buy a ticket, because you don't just come share your business like that with a total stranger. I ain't never seen this man for a day in my life. So that was big for me. And then the weekend, checked out another spot, this last one. Shout out to the crew over at the Sip Spot in Hazelwood on Missouri Bottle Road. Shout out to Maurice Butler and Eric Woods, the owners, young entrepreneurs. You need to get a hold of them. You need to get a hold of them. But young entrepreneurs under the age of 50, owning a business, and they took off like gangbusters. They do numbers. They've been open about 2 months. So shout out to them and their fine establishment. So that was my weekend. What about you and your sugar? What y'all do?
Man, I was down there in Rolla, Missouri, and watching my son get jumped on pretty bad on Saturday.
Oh boy.
You're clapping for my son's beat down. Stop it.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
My feelings are still hurt. My feelings are still a little hurt.
My bad.
But he didn't play his best. The team didn't play their best, and they got jumped on. Then when I watched last night, they streamed. They got jumped on last night a little bit. It was a better game, better performance from him and his teammates, but the other team pulled away at the end. But that's kind of how it's been. Just this season in my life, we've been waiting for him to get back on the court. So I'll be watching a lot of basketball these next couple months and watching his progression and his growth and seeing how he deals with this adversity of new team, new coach, playing on a higher level. Right, he played at an AAYE school 2 years ago. Now he's at a Division II school, where it's competition a little bit more stiff. The guys are bigger, badder, and bolder. So he's got to figure this thing out, man. And it's always good to watch your children go through and deal with adversity and figure some things out, right? And I'm enjoying this process. Of course, you hate to see him lose, but I know that it's just going to make him tougher and stronger, and he's going to go harder. So that's kind of what it was. We're actually going to probably go to Kansas City this weekend and watch him play.
That's so basketball, Dad.
Man. We're excited about this, man. We've been waiting 2 years for this boy to get back on the court. Like, he literally walked on the team. He wasn't recruited to the school. He went to the school for engineering. They got a ball team. I said, man, go and show them what you can do. And they gave him opportunity. He walked on, and the first game he was eligible to play, he started. Right.
Awesome.
So from a walk on to a starter.
Yeah, he's doing that.
Pretty good. Yep.
Yeah, so this sounds like he has to adjust.
That's it. That's all it is. He's going to make some adjustments, and I think he's going to be fine. So that's it. So we're talking 7 signs that you might be a super freak, but a super control freak, not a Rick James or Kelly super freak.
Why you gotta put R. Kelly in the same bucket with Rick James? Right? Why you gotta put it right there? Just Rick James turned over this grave like, don't put me in there with him.
Yeah. My bad, Rick. But
he's like, I ain't a pedo nobody.
If there was a such thing as cancel culture, when Rick James was doing some of the stuff that he was doing, he might too be canceled. And it might we might be on some silence Rick James.
He should have been locked up. What you're trying to say is Rick James should have been locked up. Boy, I tell you, they turned easy, boy. They quick to turn.
He learned it from somebody.
Had to have a teacher. He had to have a teacher.
And let me stop, because I don't mean to make light of that situation. It's rough on all parties. Help. But if he did what they said he did, then he deserves to go to jail.
There it is. Boom.
So 7 signs that you might be a control freak. But before we do any of that,
I was like, I'm tripping. I was ready. I was like, good to jump in. Oh, that's me.
Let's get to Michelle A's word of the day.
And now the Michelle A. word of the day.
Hey, what's up, party people? Party people. It is time for your Michelle A word of the day. Man, oh man, I think this is a good one here. I got this cheated a little bit. I got this from my one of my online mentors that I follow, Darius Daniels. He's like an amazing pastor, teacher, author, whatever. He's a great guy, and he always has such wisdom. And I love when things make sense and they're super relevant, right? So my A word of the day is called underdevelopment, right? It's two words. You can look at two ways. You can look at that: underdevelopment, or something that's not fully yet potential yet, underdevelopment, right? And so he gave this amazing analogy of developing film. Oh, I just love it. So if you think about film, right? Back in the day, now today we just grab our cameras and bam, we out there with it. But back in the day, we ain't have it so easy. And I'm dating myself, I'm telling my age. But back in the day, we had to actually take the camera, put the film in the camera, take the pictures, take the film out the camera, take it somewhere to have that film developed, right? So when it's undeveloped, it's in a negative state. On a little bitty reel about that big, and you take it to the place where you take it, like a Walgreens or a photo mat if you're really old. But you take it, and they take this film, this negative, take it in the dark, and they produce a positive out of it. Ooh, don't miss it. Don't miss it, people. They take this negative in the dark, and they use this laser beam of light to develop. So good. They use this laser beam of light to develop that negative that was in the dark. And voila, comes out on the other side, a positive, pretty picture, right? So what's the moral of the story? You might be in the dark right now, right? Look for the light so the light can develop you and you come out on the other side of this thing. That's good stuff. Hopefully you got that, because I did. It just hit my spurt again. Thank you. All right, so this is Michelle A, and that has been your Michelle A word of the day.
Love it, love it, love it. Develop through the darkness and come out into the light on the positive side. That is the Michelle A word of the day, brought to you by our sponsors over at Open Arms Wellness, Healing Mind and Body. Do me a favor, y'all. I want y'all to click that link in the bio and take their short survey that will match you with a counselor that would be great for you. They have some amazing, talented counselors that can help you. And a lot of times we think that something has to be wrong for us to see or speak to someone. And that's not the case, right? Sometimes when things are going well in your life, you want them to continue to go well in your life, and they can help you in that area there. So click the link in the description or give them a call at 314-329-4326 and tell them that the St. Louis Hustle Podcast sent you. So we're going to get into these 7 signs that you, my friend, just might be a control freak. Glenda Tate says, love it, by the way, Michelle, that developing the negative through the darkness into a positive light. So
change your whole perspective.
Yeah, man, you just gotta. It's about how you see things, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta see what things can be. So we got 7 signs that you might be a control freak. Control freaks often struggle to recognize their need for control. So number 1 sign that you might be a control freak is you aren't a good team player. Right? This is number 1, right? Joining a team means you have to give up some control. After all, you can't orchestrate everything that happens when you are only responsible for 10% of the outcome. Many control freaks prefer to be a lone wolf. So when they must be part of a team, they quickly try to dictate everyone's behavior. So give me a 1 in the comment if you struggle being a team player, because that's the first sign that you, my friend, just might be a control freak.
I'm telling you, when I read through this, I was like, oh, because I'll be thinking about. I try to self-evaluate because I'm self-aware, because I know who the heck I am. I try to self-evaluate, and I'm like, I love to be on teams. But then some of these things on this list we're about to go through, I was like, "Ooh, ouch! I do that. I think I do that." Yeah. You don't play good with others.
When you like, and we're gonna at the end. If you stick around to the end, I'm gonna give you some areas of your life you need to be a control freak, and these like sometimes these are the areas that we are most reluctant to be control freaks. Sweet Daddy says, "Listen, I am a number one. I struggle with being a team player," right? Or another way we could say it is, can you only be a team player if you're the star player of the team, right?
I was talking about me.
People, like, I can be a good team player. Just give me the ball every time, right?
Right. I'm Michael Jackson and you are Tito, okay? I'm running, y'all run around in it.
Every time, I'm an excellent team player. But
there it is.
Give me that ball and watch what happens.
Okay, there it is. We're going down. All right, number 2. You believe you are 100% responsible for your success. You did it, just you. All right. Control freaks believe that with enough effort and skill, they can accomplish anything. They don't believe in timing or luck. They often say things like, failure isn't an option. Ooh. And they're overly critical of themselves when things don't go as planned. Ooh. Wow, I'm gonna let that sit. That hit somebody. Somebody was like, "Hey, y'all feel it?" Yeah, we gonna wait. Okay. Yeah. When you think that,
drop a 2.
Right.
If this is you,
if it's you, there it is. Because it happens that way. People be thinking that they got it all together by themselves, no help.
Yeah. One of the terms or phrases that I absolutely hate the most is the term or the phrase self-made millionaire.
Ooh, right? I hate it.
There's no such thing.
I hate it.
There's no such thing as a self-made millionaire. No such thing. No one has ever built $1 million business or $1 million anything by themselves. And I get the sentiment that it refers or references that this person may not have started with a silver spoon in their mouth, or this person may not have a infusion of cash to the tune of $100,000 or $500,000 to start their enterprise. But you didn't build $1 million business by yourself. Especially like in my case, I'm married, right? So when I build this multi-billion-dollar media conglomerate, someone want to call me a self-made mogul, right? I ain't self-made. My sugar made me. Like, seriously.
Come on.
Like, if y'all have seen this dusty dude before my sugar, right?
With the dreads, the CORTEZ with the dreads.
Yeah, the Tez with the dreads. Like, she pulled me out the gutter, dusted the brother off, got the bugs out the hair, and kind of washed and moisturized the dreads and had them looking fresh and fly and all that. Like, it's serious. So you can't make $1 million by yourself. You can't build anything by yourself. So I hate the phrase self-made because there is no such thing. Self-directed. And I think Nipsey Hussle said it best, right? He said self-made, meaning I designed myself, right? Not taking credit from God that designed them, but saying I designed the life that I now live. But through that design came an execution of certain disciplines that led to this end result. So don't run around talking about yourself made and you done everything yourself. Because if you do, you, my friend, just might be a control freak, right? Number 3 on our list, right? You invest a lot of time into trying to convince other people to change. Listen, people. Most control freaks believe they know what is best for everyone, and they try to convince other people to do things differently. Whether they lecture, become aggressive or manipulate things behind the scenes. The goal is to make other people act a certain way. Do you, my friend, right? Give me a number 3 in the comments if you trying to get the speck out of everybody else's eye.
Okay.
You got a doggone lamp pole in your eye, right? You try to change, change everybody around you, right? You ever found yourself doing that, Michelle?
Why you gotta go? You can't hold it.
That's the question, ladies.
Why you gotta pick on me, Smokey? Well, I mean, why we asking? Okay. That's not one of the ones I'm a cop to. It's one further down I'm a cop to. Ask me about number 5 when we get to number 5, and I'll cop to that one. This one, I try to let people be who they are. Hey, that's what you want to do? I could probably tell you about to jack yourself up, but you know what? You go right on ahead. I'm going to let you because you got to see that thing. Here's the thing. Well, no, that's going to come for number 5. I ain't going to say that now. I'm going to hold my mule.
Well, I think one of the things, one of the areas where this becomes extremely detrimental is in our adult children, right? You and I both have adult children. And I
don't do that.
We have this picture of what we were trying to create as we were raising them, right? Yep. And when they get to 18, 21, 25, 28, and they're the exact opposite of this picture that we're trying to create, instead of accepting them for who they are and helping them to continue to evolve, we're trying to force them into like, no, I saw this for you. No, you're supposed to be, because as parents, we see their gifts, their talents, we see where they are special at, we see their tendencies, and like, man, this would go so good in this industry. If you were here, you excel, right? Yep. And we want to force them into, right, this image and that we had in our head since the time they were born. And that could be very detrimental. So if that is you, even though that's your baby, you, my friend, just might be the control freak.
You might be. You might be. Oh, my goodness. All right, number 4. If you have trouble maintaining meaningful relationships, I'm going to have trouble. I got it. So I just don't deal with foolishness. Okay. No one ever says, you know what I like about her? She's a control freak. They don't do that. Control freaks repel people with demands and unsolicited advice. Consequently, they struggle to maintain healthy personal and professional relationships. That person that always says, you know what you ought to do? You know what you need to do? What you need to do is really, that's what you I ain't asked for your advice though. I asked you. I'm cool. Thank you. I'm glad you got a word for me, but it's the wrong page and the wrong word. I didn't ask for your advice. Didn't ask for it. So yeah, that one's a slippery slope for me. If you know that's you, put number 4 in the comments. We ain't even gonna hate on you. We ain't gonna be mad.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Judgment free.
Like if you like not just a loving relationship with a life partner, but all your relationships fall apart all the time. Like we've seen it like coworker besties for 2 months and then they fall out.
All of a sudden. And it's a cycle. There go Miranda with somebody else.
Yeah. Coworker besties, right? We've seen that there's a lot of things that could cause a relationship to go sour and to go bad. But this control issue, like, why we always got to go to the spot that you pick, right? That kind of stuff. Why we always got to go eat where you say eat, right? Like, we know people who literally will only allow people in their presence that they can control and manipulate. And that's not healthy for them. And it's not healthy for the people that allow that to take place in their lives. Relationships should be all about reciprocity.
They should. I was just going to say this, and this, excuse me, this is something maybe to just ponder for later. What happens when, if you're not trying to be a control freak, but you say, let's go over here, the person willingly goes, and you find yourself being the one to always pick the place you go, be it romantic or just casual friends. I've had that happen to me. I will say, what do you want to do? It don't matter. All right, well, if it don't matter, we're going over here. Okay, well, what you want to do this? Don't care. Okay, well, we're going over here. Then all of a sudden, you control everything. I asked you. You don't speak up and have an opinion when, you know, say if I want to go somewhere, because people know I'll roll out by myself. There it is. Yeah. But I get called a control freak at times because, oh, you just want to control. No, I don't. I do not. Now I'm going to do what I want to do. That's being a control freak. So if you want to go left and I really want to go right, I'll holler at you on the flip side. I'm controlling me. I got that right. I know I can't control nobody else. So I don't know. Maybe I'll put a 4.1 or maybe a 2.5 or something. Because I ain't all the way. A 4. I don't know. We'll come back.
Yeah, and that those things, like some people have, and you could be and not even realize it. Some people have a dominating personality and don't realize it, right? You literally could have had someone, and I'm not saying you personally or specifically, but you could have had someone in your life and they could have spoken up one time and said, no, I want to go over here. And you were so excited about what you wanted to do. You said, no, we got to do this, girl. You're going to love it. And then they took that as a permanent place, like in nature, right? There are certain things that happen, like if a wolf wants to join the pack, right? There's only one aggressive move that the leader makes one time, and it puts the other in subjection forever, right? And if you have a dominating personality and you don't realize that, and you just barked at somebody one time, and not because you were being malicious, but maybe your excitement about a thing, and you're like, no, we got to do this. And that person, if they are more of a subservient personality, a beta type person, they might have just like, okay, that's the last time I ever suggest anything around this person. Because so it's not always intentional, but it could happen.
Yeah.
But then I would say, look at the people around you. And if they are all yes people, if they are all yes men, yes women, then you need to be in a new circle. I would say that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That passiveness, or sometimes passive aggressiveness, to just, because I try to, let, when I'm hanging socially, or if I'm in a romantic relationship, which by the way, I'm not right now. No. I'm determined I'm staying single.
Stop the press. Right. Somebody put a number 4 in the comments for Michelle.
What? Huh? Who put?
If you have trouble maintaining meaningful relationships, number 4 on our list. Right?
Now, you gonna do it? Oh yeah.
Somebody put 4 in the chat for Michelle. Right?
I need a surrogate number dropper. That's what I need.
Yeah. She is clearly having an issue seeing her reflection. Like we done went from Mr. Wonderful to Mr. What the.
You know what?
Now,
oh my God!
I'm thinking we had to chop down Mr. 6'5" to Mr. 4'6". So I'm out here in these streets, right, taking up for my big little sister and putting Negroes in check, and all the while,
it's not me.
It's you, boo. All the while, you over there control freaking these men out of your life. That's what you doing.
First of all, that sounds real crazy. she control freak me. Most jiggers would be like, for real? How could I get on with that? Where's she at? I will say this about the fits. First, Mr. Wonderful came back and apologized. He just reached out the blue. It's been 8-9 months. He reached out the blue and was like, I'm sorry. And look, he probably gonna watch this show. You know what I'm saying? We ain't kids to make up, but we squashed it. He apologized for what he did. God don't like ugly. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing.
You was trying to make that man sugar shack every weekend. That's what you were saying.
He was determined. I did not. He determined. He was like, I didn't like the fact that you went to the sugar shack every weekend. I didn't make him go with me. I just said deal with it. That's not controlling. We had Saturdays. We had date night. Goodness. But I'll say this. I'm going to stay single. I am running from relationships. I haven't given up. I'm not turning my back, but I am going to work on some self-development. I'm going to look at these 7 things we are covering, self-evaluate to make sure to remove the remnants of some of the controlling ways I could possibly, folks might think I have. And I'm going to stay single. When I do get married, everybody gonna be shocked because they're gonna be like, she said she was. I'm done. I'm
That's
done.
usually how it happens, though. The minute you say you're done, then Mr. Right Now comes. The Mr. Right On Time comes when you say you're done. And
I'm
you get
so
tested in that area. So Sweet Daddy says, listen, being a Virgo, I can be very picky about everything. Fear of things going wrong. I rather do tasks alone. Definitely a loner prefers to be alone. People pleasing has been my downfall for many years. Yeah, so that is the exact opposite of a control freak, but at the same time, it is a manifestation of being a control freak, right? Because you're trying to control them by pleasing them.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You're trying to get what you want from the other person by pleasing them. I tell this phrase all the time because I'm trying to really burn it in my spirit to be my authentic self at all times. For the first 26 so years of my life, I tried extremely hard to convince the world that I really was who I was pretending to be, right? And it literally caused me to lose my mind. Like literally, I'd spent time in a mental institution. I lost my mind trying to convince the world and myself that I was who I was pretending to be, and it almost killed me. It wasn't until I literally came out of a mental hospital after spending some weeks there and had kind of like a rebirth and was introduced to the real CORTEZ Springer, right? It was a crazy and an amazing feeling at the same time. But that people pleasing, I was trying to pretend to be that guy, and that that TV masculinity that they share with us on how and what a real man is. I was trying to be that guy, and I'll tell you, these last 15 years or so, getting to know the real CORTEZ has been quite liberating. So definitely, you can't be a people pleaser, and it's okay. The only like now, I have learned that I perform for an audience of one. As long as my creator is pleased, then I'm okay. But you can't go wrong there, because my creator said in order to please him, I have to love my neighbor like I love myself. So if I'm pleasing him and loving my neighbor like I love myself, then most people are going to be pleased. Now, some people can give a damn because they don't love themselves. So the last thing they want to see is you loving yourself. And that's where real haters come from. When you are loving yourself and doing you, a real
they can't stand it.
They
can't stand it.
Right. So we got to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we're going to knock down these last 3, but y'all make sure y'all don't go anywhere. And if you have not already, put the name of your business in the comments. At the end of the show, I want to give you a business shout out, and hit that share button, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it locked right here.
Hey, yo, listen, man, I don't know about you, but as a solopreneur, the last thing I can do is afford to miss a phone call that might lead to money. So when I found out that building my website and sales funnels on the Black Biz Success app included a dedicated phone number with boomerang text back, that was the icing on the cake for me. That means anytime my phone rings, and if I'm on a webinar, if I'm doing a podcast, if I'm away from my phone and I miss the call, the system will automatically text that person back with a message from me asking, how can I help? So I no longer miss money, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I'm getting ready to do a photo shoot right now, so I'm gonna be tied up. But if somebody's calling me about business, guess what? I'm gonna get the message and I'm gonna send them back a message that they can connect with me on blackbizsuccess.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, CORTEZ Hustle. That's my girl, Michelle A. And we're talking 7 signs that you, my friend, might just be a control freak. Shout out to our sponsors for today, the Black Biz Success Mastermind. Don't forget to text the keyword mastermind, 314-866-4053. Also, shout out to our good friends over at Open Arms Wellness, openarmswellness.com. So we are on number 5 of our list. Number 5 says you spend a lot of energy trying to prevent bad things from happening, right? Rather than prepare themselves for the storm, control freaks try to prevent the storm from coming, even when they can't. They waste time and energy hoping bad things won't happen because they doubt their ability to deal with hardship or hard-ish. Michelle said that is her. Number 5. Wait, what?
Somebody put that in the comments for me. That is me. I know it's me. And that's something I have to be careful of, because that is borderline on some spiritual stuff right there, right? If you trust God, I ain't gonna call it out because folks, there's a word for it. And if you know what I'm talking about, starts with the W, is a word for it. Try to control the outcome. That ain't my place. It's God's place. At the end of the day, I have to trust God, but I have to catch myself, because it does. So I think when people do this, I think it's something to be aware of spiritually, because you can't, I don't care how well you prepare, you cannot control or change the ending of a thing. You can't. No one knows what the end gonna be, but God. No one knows, right? You have to kind of get through it. But I will say this reasoning here is absolutely me. I waste time and energy hoping that bad things won't happen, because sometimes I doubt my ability to be able to handle another hardship, again. Can we just be proactive and prevent it? Perfect example, super short story. Took my dad to this few months back at the fall. My dad went to the emergency room because his blood pressure was up. He had a crazy dad, old people moment. And so he went to DePaul. My dad he's a vet. He normally goes to the VA for everything. He sees his VA doctor. He went to DePaul. They kept him 2 days. They sent him out with a new blood pressure medication. Now, I ain't that in love with the VA, but I'm a little less in love with DePaul. And so my biggest thing to my dad was, he said, I got a new blood pressure. He'd act like he won the lotto or like they gave him some candy. I got a new blood pressure medication. I said, yo, give me that. First of all, you ain't going to no store. I'm the one do all your running. And I didn't fill the prescription because my mind raced ahead to say, I said, listen, let's take this and let's talk to your doctor at the VA, because, you know, DePaul seeing you one time every few years, if that, and you see them regularly, they're adding something to your regimen. They don't know your history. That I trust them. Okay. So subsequently, my mind raced ahead and said, if I give him this if I get this medicine, get it filled, and it makes his blood pressure drop too low, or it makes him something bad happen, something adverse, selfish, I'm gonna have to deal with it. I am the mess cleaner upper in my family. When mess and craziness, I'm the person that cleans it up. So I was trying to race ahead and stop this storm, because I didn't want to have to go clean up. It ain't that I doubted my ability. I just didn't want to handle one more thing. Right. And so it still was wrong. and it still was trying to control the outcome. And I had to, number one, repent for it, because again, that's borderline dealing with that W word. I had to repent first, and then I had to apologize to my dad. I have to let it play out. And that's just, if you jack yourself up with the meds, God is in control. God is sovereign. And I have to trust that. I can't race ahead and try to fix it before it happened. Sorry, Lord. That's just it. So
yeah. I listened to some Jim Rohn just recently, and one of his favorite sayings is, you can't control the winter, right? You can't change the winter until you get your own planet, right? Winter is coming, and you can't do anything about changing the fact that winter is coming. What you can do, on the other hand, is be prepared for the winter that you know is coming. Another thing that I like to encourage people to think about, though, when we're talking about storms and situation in one's lives, is there's another law in that good old book that I like to read called the Bible. It's called the law of sowing and reaping. And sometimes these storms that we're trying to dodge and run are storms that are the fruitful harvest of some seeds that we have sown in yonder's past. And first thing we want to do is blame it on the devil. No.
Everything ain't the devil.
You planted a seed of discord 4 years ago, and when you did this, that, and the other, and it took that seed 4 years to germinate, to grow into a tree, and now it's bearing fruit in the way of a storm in your life, and you want to blame other people. No, you did that. So be careful about the seeds that you are sowing, and don't try to control, like Michelle said, that outcome, because that ain't your place. You just be prepared for those storms, and when they show up in your life, try to extract as many lessons from them, and keep it pushing, right? Number 6 on our list, you, my friend, might be I'm thinking about, are you familiar with Jeff Foxworthy and Larry the Cable Guy and all those guys? So
redneck comedy. Yeah.
You, right, might be a redneck, right? So you might be a control freak if you don't delegate. Now this is me, right? To I think Sweet Danny's point was saying that fear of other people not getting right is, so you want to do everything yourself, right? And I had to realize and own my own issues. It's not that I'm afraid that other people won't get it right. I'm afraid that I won't get no credit. I want credit for everything. So that's the problem.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
If I let you do it and you do it well, now I got to share the credit with you. I got to give you some credit, right? And I'm trying to get all of the credits, ladies and gentlemen. When you show up at my movie, I am the executive director, the producer, the leading man, the leading woman, the extras, and everything. And
he did it all.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. A control freak firmly believes if you want something done right, you better do it yourself. They refuse to delegate tasks because they're convinced that doing so will ultimately require more of their time, since they'll have to fix whatever mistakes someone else makes. If they do delegate, they insist on micromanaging every step of the way. Yes. Okay, you can do it. No, you got to do it like that. No, would you take that out? And that part comes first, and that part comes. Look, you done told me to do it and to get it done. But you get your ass out of the way and let me do it.
Go sit down. Go sit down. You know what? I hate it when sometimes we do these shows and I get like these epiphanies or I get convicted. And you just read that. And I was thinking about when I was in management. I was like, I would delegate, but I'm gonna give you steps on what need to be done. When I give you a task, I need you to go do that. This is how you do that. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, do that like this. Thank you kindly. Have a mighty fine day. Now, I don't want everybody doing it. I had a team, 10 people, 9, 10 people. Everybody was doing the same job, but everybody wanted to do the same job their way. So I had the outcomes were never the same spot on. They would always kind of vary a little bit. They'd be all relative, but they'd be, And so you just made me think that I created processes that said, this is how this thing has to be done. So everybody gets the same outcome.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's a system. That's a standard operating procedure. And you should have those in business. Like, that's what makes McDonald's so great, right? Yeah. Big Mac anywhere in the US is going to take exactly the same. Big Macs all over China, because of their process, is going to take exactly the same, right?
And not like ours.
No, that's why I said in the US, they're going to taste the same. When you go overseas, they're going to taste a little bit different. But in that country, they're all going to taste the same, because they have a standard operating procedure. So that is important, right? But when you delegate and you give that person that standard operating procedure, you just got to get out of the way and let them do it. Yeah. Right. True. That's the thing. Like, I want to give you the 7 steps that has to be done to get the outcome to be as consistent as possible. Right. But then I want to watch how you set your desk up to get prepared to do the 7 steps. Right. I'm gonna give you steps on how to do the 7 steps. I'm gonna give you 7 steps to do the 7 steps. And then I'm gonna give you a 7-point checklist that we're gonna go over together to make sure that you did the 7 steps that I told you to do before you started these 7 steps. Like, that's too much.
Now that's an exaggeration, but I ain't gonna lie. When my superiors wanted me to do that with my team, give them a checklist, but I already gave them the steps. You need to give them a checklist. They need a checklist and steps. Yeah. Even I was like, okay. You know, you talk about McDonald's. I gotta slip this in super quick. McDonald's, you said they taste the same everywhere. Very few McDonald's in India. Very few. And when you find one, it ain't 2 all beef patties. Special sauce, lettuce, cheese. Because bun. No, you ain't getting that. It's 2 all lamb patties. It's all 2 chicken patties. You're gonna get everything but the beef in India, because they don't play with that. I was like, what? Y'all ain't got no McDonald's? They looked at me like I was cussing. We don't have McDonald's here. Y'all don't? They was like, I was like, what? Y'all don't like cheese? Y'all don't like sesame seed? But I ain't get it. They was like, well, I got it when I was like, I saw a dude walking a cow in the street, a bison, on a leash like it was a dog. I said, what is? Oh, he's walking his pet. That's a big ass bison. That's the thing is, we don't eat beef or those are pets and animals here too. They're sacred. It's a whole different. They let them roam free like dogs. It's just a herd of bison down the middle of the street. Cows just chilling, walking on their own. They're not contained. Cows just roaming around. I'm like,
I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't nobody.
Right. We chilling. Ain't nobody milking me. I'm good. Yeah, I don't get it. Okay. Number 7. Ooh, now this is not me. Thank you, Lord. You lack compassion for people who make mistakes. Ugh. Okay. Since control freaks believe success stems solely from talent or effort, they lack compassion for those who struggle. They view mistakes as signs of laziness or stupidity. Oh, that hurts. And they think everyone should succeed regardless of their circumstances. When I tell you 4 or 5 people jumped in my mind when I read this, I'm like, ding, 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 ding. That's why they be like that. They control freaks. Some people don't even know it.
Yeah, control freaks, man. That lack of compassion thing, like, one of my superpowers is patience. And
it really is. Like,
and like, I have to really thank God for that gift in my field of work, because I can't understand, Michelle, for the life of me, in 2022, Negroes still talking about they don't do computers. Like, wait, what? Computers 30 years old, and you talking about you don't do computers? Like, man, listen. We
Take
about
me
to be
to
on
the
Web
cave.
3.0. You ain't even on Web 2.0. What?
Ooh,
You better come
there
on
are
with
some.
it. But
There are some people who fight it. There's some people who fight it.
literally, like some people are still analog. Like not
Yeah.
even cassette tapes and CDs. We talking 8-track people, right? When it comes to computers, and I'm like, come on, y'all. This is. But I have the patience to and compassion to understand the fight for that, because some people still literally believe that's just evil, right? Believe that computers and technology is the work of the devil, and there's all kinds of people, right? So like, but that is my superpower. But to be compassionate about and with people in their circumstances, like there's a lot of, for me being a full-time entrepreneur, I see a lot of entrepreneurship shaming, right? Meaning if you're not an entrepreneur and you work a job, then I have a problem with your way of life because I'm an entrepreneur. Now, I might be a full-time entrepreneur all of 2 minutes, right? Just left my job and now I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Now I'm bashing people with jobs, right?
Man.
I see a lot of people like that, and I have to control that in my mind because I have a supreme confidence in myself and my abilities to do anything that any man or woman has ever done. I believe if you give me enough time and I put my mind to it, I can do it, right? And sometimes that creates an issue for me when people don't move and operate like that. I'm like, man, they don't have your same gifts though, CORTEZ. They don't have your same drive. They don't have your same, like their circumstances in life. They may not have extracted the lessons the way that you have done, right? Your life experiences beat you down to a point, but maybe it didn't beat you down to the point that their experiences beat them down. So I was like, you gotta kind of have that compassion. So control freaks experience consequences ranging from constant irritability to uncontrollable anger, rage, right? Don't make me sound hawkish in here, right? In addition to wreaking havoc on your mental health, being a control freak also wastes time and energy, both of which are finite resources. To build mental strength, practice controlling your emotions rather than controlling everything around you. Build confidence in your ability to deal with discomfort and practice accepting that not everything will go as planned. And that brings me back to some Jim Rohn. So my morning routine is I wake up with Thanksgiving and I write out my definite chief aim, and then I say it to myself 2 times. Then I go downstairs and I work out and I put my earphones on and I'm listening to some Jim Rohn. And he said, when you realize how to take full responsibility for yourself and you start saying to yourself, when things don't go right in your life, everything out there is wrong. That's the problem. You got to go to the problem is inside. Right? I got to go inside, right, to fix my issues and my problems. So drop the name of your business and or your brand if you like a free business shout out. Let's see what Doris has to say. A control freak is usually driven by the urge that they want everything to be done in a way that they feel is correct. These people avoid mistakes in their own life and as such have a high need to correct others in case they find anything wrong. I would agree with that. But again, you can't control everybody else's mistakes, even when you are not looking to make mistakes yourself.
Man, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I got beat up a little bit. I got whooped a little bit, but I'm okay with it because I'm learning and I'm growing. I'm in my process. I'm gonna stay in process, but I am in the process of just doing some house cleaning. I'm in the process of really just self-evaluating, which I think should be a continual kind of thing. You know, we ain't gonna ever. I hate when people say, "I'm just trying to get right." Keep trying. You ain't gonna ever get right. You know what I'm saying? We're human. I'm just trying to work in progression, right? I don't want to stand still and say, well, I ain't gonna never be perfect. Or I don't want to stand still and be like, I'm already there. No, I just want to be in progression.
That's it.
I just want to be moving, You know what I'm saying? And as I move, as long as I got the Father with me, I'm good. I heard somebody say, wasn't something I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. My pastor I follow online, Darius Daniels. I heard him say a lot of people are trying to get there. Oh, I can't. Well, when I get there, I'll be happier than I am here. People need to kind of realize that when you walk with God, like here, or excuse me, when you walk with God, He should be in the here with you. Mm-hmm. But when you walk with Him, there is not a place, there is a person. It's Him. So if He's here with you, He's there with you. Meaning you're trying to work so hard to get there, be good here because He's here. You just need to move in progression. And it could be great along the way.
Yeah. And it's the becoming, right? Here, like you say, here is the person that God wants you to become. And I'm going through things to get me to become, right? The destination is a new being, a new you. It's not a certain dollar amount, right? I'm going to build a multi-billion-dollar media conglomerate, right? But the person that I become during that process is more of the destination than the actual $1 billion in revenue and receipts that I can then use to help change and transform the world, right?
But you're happy now.
Becoming. Yeah, absolutely.
Your happiness is in your here. People are trying to get, if I could just get married, I'd be happy. No, I need to be happy being single. I want to be married, but you know what? I'm cool. I'm happy in my here. So when if and when that ever come, whether I bound or obeys, there it is. I'm done.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you the one place that you absolutely need to be a control freak, but you're running from control in this area, that's in your finances, right? You want to be a control freak? Be a control freak in your money, ladies and gentlemen, and get your financial house in order. And that was for me, right? That's me talking to me, right? That ain't for none of y'all. That's for me. I got to continue to get my financial house in order. But that's where you should be a control freak, right? Giving every dollar that comes into your possession an assignment, ladies and gentlemen, so that you can continue to relieve the stress. They say the love of money is the root of all evil, but that same book also said money answers all things. So you got to find yourself somewhere in the middle and make sure that you don't make money your God, but that you are using it and leveraging that to the best of your ability, because it will remove stress out of your life when you learn how to manage your money. So that's it for today, man. Until I talk to y'all next time, we want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up.